Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's just me coming at you again with another video. I just found out now that the International Boxing Hall of Fame and Museum announced today's news class of the 2016 inductees to this year's hall. Um, this year's inductees is led by Hector Macho Camacho. Well deserved, long deserved. Well, took a long time. Overdue, I should say. Mexico's two-time division champion Lupe Pintor, who's a very good champion, and Panama's two-division champion Hilario Zapata in the modern category. Also, Judge Harold Letterman, who's currently a HBO commentator or official scorecard keeper. Commissioner Art Ratner, journalist Jerry Eisenberg, and broadcaster Colonel Bob Sheridan, who I could not stand over the years. Jesus Christ. But at the same time, I respect the guy because he can tend to be a little biased when it comes to his commentary to certain fighters. But other than that, it's kind of surprising that you have a commissioner. I had no idea they elected athletic commissioners into the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's something new. I mean, they may have done it for a while, but I'm totally unaware of that. Other than that, I really don't have too much of a problem with this class right here. But my only problem is that there's quite a few names that's been left off here, and it's been left off, and these names has been left off for a long time now. First things first, one name I could think of is Diego Corrales. Okay, yeah, he's been gone for a long time now, but why is it that he's been gone for almost 11 years? He's been gone for 10 years. All right. What I mean by gone is God rest his soul. He left it. He left Earth. He left us. Now he's been gone for 10 years, and why hasn't he been considered into the Hall of Fame? Okay. Now I'm trying to point out the double standard here is that certain guys, it seems like they want to elect certain guys at a certain time frame. I mean, my understanding is that it takes a 6-year time frame after a guy retires to be elected. Okay. But at the same time, if Diego Corrales is being left out, then you should explain why is Arturo Gatti, who was deceased in 2007, he got elected back in 2013. Okay. Now, kind of explain that's kind of like mixing apples and oranges here. All right, I'm just pointing out the double standard with the Hall of Fame's electoral process. Okay, if Diego Corrales cannot get elected, then why Arturo Gatti got elected? All right, if you ask me, I think I think Diego Corrales has achieved more than what Arturo Gatti has achieved. All right, no disrespect to Arturo Gatti. He was a warrior. He was a legend in his own right, but he certainly wasn't a great fighter. Neither was Diego Corrales, but Diego Corrales was actually a much more better fighter than Arturo Gatti. Let's face it, and he did fight, but much more quality opposition than Arturo Gatti. Let's not get that twisted, but that's a fact. Okay. Now, if Diego Corrales is being left out, I think there's something wrong here. Okay. Another few names I want to look up here is Iran Barkley. All right. Now, Iran Barkley's greatest win on his resume is against Thomas Hearns. He beat him twice. One for the middleweight title, the other one for the light heavyweight title. Okay. But Iran Barkley, yes, he has a lot of losses on his record, but you have to look at those losses. He lost against a lot of great middleweights and light heavyweights and super middleweights at that time. You can look at guys like Michael Nunn, right? Michael Nunn was a linear champion at middleweight and super middleweight. Barkley lost to him at a 12-round decision, okay? And I felt that Nunn ran from Barkley. He ran from that fight, but it is what it is. He won. He beat him, okay? He went up against Roberto Duran, a guy who they thought was past his prime when he fought Barkley, and they fought into a 12-round war, which resulted to the fight of the year. And, of course, Barkley lost that fight, and he lost his title to Duran, okay? Then he lost against James Toney, which, was a, he retired in that corner. And at the time, Barkley was the linear 168 champion, okay? Before that, he lost to Sambu Kalamby, a guy that everybody had tough times with. Even Mike McCallum even had a tough time against Sambu Kalamby, a guy who gave McCallum his first loss, who's also in the Hall of Fame, okay? So why isn't Iran Barkley not being considered, okay? He's been retired since 1999, all right? Now, that's something some of us should ask those questions. Now, the next guy on that list that should be considered to be in the Hall of Fame is Michael Nunn, all right? Michael Nunn, in my opinion, is probably one of the best super middleweights Well, yeah, best super middleweights. It probably one. I won't say one of the greatest middleweights, but you could probably argue that he could be on that list. All right, but Michael Nunn is bar none probably one of the best super middleweights I've ever seen. All right, probably again one of the best middleweights because of his era. Because this man was a linear champion. He fought everybody that was there to fight except for Julian Jackson, but he fought all the best Hallcomers. I mean, he also was avoided by most people, like I would say Mike McCallum, because I wonder, because Mike McCallum all of a sudden wanted to open up his mouth and said people were ducking him during his time, but at the time he was fighting at campaigning at middleweight, why didn't he take a fight with Michael Nunn, who was the big, was the name at the time? But besides the point, Michael Nunn was the middleweight linear champion. He was the only guy to knock out Sambu Kalamby, and he was also the linear super middleweight champion. Okay. So why isn't he considered on the list? I know Michael Nunn's in prison right now for cocaine possession, whatnot. But if you're gonna hold that against Michael Nunn, then explain to me that why is Mike Tyson elected to the Hall of Fame? All right, no disrespect to Tyson, but he's an ex-convict, and that's on record. Even though I don't think he did the crime, but it is what it is. He's an ex-convict, but he's elected to the Hall of Fame. Okay. I believe those standards should apply to Michael Nunn because yes, he's a convict now, but when he gets out, he's an ex-convict and he should get out in the next 9 years or so. But other than that, he should have been elected to the Hall of Fame prior to his conviction, in my opinion, if you ask me. Okay. Other than that, let's look at Sambu Kalamby, another great middleweight. Okay. Another great middleweight. This guy was impossible to beat. Okay, Mike McCallum, one of the hardest punchers we ever seen, couldn't even knock out Sambu Kalamby. And he even got his first loss to Sambu Kalamby. All right, but he did avenge that loss later down the road. Okay, Sambu Kalamby beat McCallum. Yeah, his only knockout loss was to Michael Nunn. Okay, I see that right there. All right. He also beat Harold Graham, who was probably one of the greatest one of the greatest British fighters of all time. Even though he didn't win a title, he beat Steve Collins, who was a great champion. He also beat Doug DeWitt, Robbie Sims, Barkley. So he beat Harold Graham twice. Let's not mistake it. Okay, so why is it Sambu Kalamby in the Hall of Fame? All right, he was retired since 1993. All right, he was a world champion in middleweight, and he defended his title 5 times before losing that title to Nunn. Actually, you know what? He was stripped from that title. I'm sorry, the WBA stripped him before he fought Nunn. My mistake there. Okay, so why is it Sambu Kalamby in the Hall of Fame? All right, so. I laid out my names right there. I don't know. I'm very, very skeptical about the Hall of Fame committee's inductee process. I mean, I'm not arguing the fact that Camacho and the other names like Colonel Sheridan and Harold Letterman shouldn't get into the Hall of Fame. I'm not arguing that. I'm just arguing their electoral procedure why guys like Sambu Kalamby, Barkley, and Michael Nunn's being left off the list. I don't understand it. And these guys have been retired for almost 2 decades now. Oh boy. And trust me, this is not sour grapes at all, guys. Not sour grapes at all. I'm just trying to point out the double standard here. That and Diego Corrales, I forgot to mention that. So if you're not going to elect Diego Corrales, Sambu Kalamby, Barkley, and Michael Nunn, then explain to me how you guys elect Arturo Gatti, Mike Tyson into the Hall of Fame. Okay? How are you going to elect those guys? But, I mean, they deserved it. I'm not saying they deserve to be elected. Those guys definitely deserve to get into the Hall of Fame. But what I'm saying is, based off the standards that I laid out, why aren't the other guys that I mentioned, Corrales, Nunn, Kalamby, and Barkley, not elected to the Hall of Fame? Well, anyways, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Share, subscribe. Signing off. Peace.